Hello everybody and welcome back to the pre-production meeting. It is episode 41. I'm your co-host Josh Urquhart.
I'm your second co-host Daniel Cugola.
And
I'm the original co-host, but
the original.
No, I'm joking. I'm part of the original What Are Your Thoughts crew.
There you go.
I'm Federico Anderson.
Federico Anderson, welcome back, my friend. Thank you guys for tuning in. Now, before we even start, don't forget to rate the podcast on Spotify. We've got 20. We're a 5-star rated podcast at the moment with 20 people that have
pretty good.
gone out of their way to do that. But the more you guys do that, the more we get into the algorithm, more people listening, and a better opportunity to one day get the Spotify bag. But without further ado, how are you boys this week? Stan, we'll start with you. How are you? Stan.
What's on Stan this week?
Stan. Speaking about Stan.
I actually did watch a Stan film this week.
And you're...
Are we going to talk about that?
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
Oh, no, I just saw like a job listing at Stan and I just sent in an application for it, sent in my resume.
Did you message Lex?
I did. She hasn't gotten back to me yet, but that's all right.
That's all right. I'll message her for you. I'll put in a good word for you to get put in a good word with. All right?
That's how it works.
That's how it works. Right? That's the industry.
Yeah.
Fetty, it's been a while, my friend. You were on an earlier episode, way earlier when we first started.
Before 40.
Before 40, that's for sure. How have you been, my friend?
I've been good. I've been busy. It was nice to get the metro out to the hills again. You know,
yeah.
The smell of tech fleece, the smell of Ashes. It's a lovely part of the world. But,
there's nothing like the hills, eh?
Right.
What does that smell like? Burnt rubber? Or what's
I don't know.
smell?
You just smell all the different types of vapes, you know?
That's true, but...
Strawberry, mango, pomegranate ice.
Exactly. But no, it's good to be back. The room's gotten a little bit of an upgrade, and it's good to be here.
Yeah, well, look, all the Bodie's money, we've put it to good use. We've got in LED lights, a spray painted wall, you know, and it's all just for you, to be fair. We knew you were coming back on, you know. It's been a while since you've been on. A lot of progress, I'm guessing, has been happening. Fetty, just give us a little rundown about, you know, what's been happening since, because you've had some pretty big, life events. Yeah.
Yeah. So since I was last on, I've been through the internship program at a production company, which has been really cool because, like, one thing I've learned the most from it is, like, if you want to be, like, I want to be a producer one day. Mm-hmm. And producer isn't one thing how you can go watch a YouTube video and you kind of learn how to do it. You kind of got to be in the door. You got to have situations where you got to problem solve. And I think kind of being able to go in-house at a production company, sit in the room with all the producers, sit in on meetings. Like, I sat in on they're doing a feature film and I'm sitting in with the director, the script writer, and I'm just there taking notes for them for like 4 hours while they talk about how the hell are we going to make this script perfect and how the hell are we also going to approach it with funding things, like understanding how they reach out to Screen Australia, understanding how you got to tick the boxes, because at the end of the day, like, making movies costs money, and at the end of the day, money doesn't grow on trees. So
that's one thing that they don't really go into in film school is the funding. Did you ever get told, like, funding?
A little bit, but they didn't really support us much in that sense of, like, really telling you how to budget a film or anything like that.
But at the same time, like, for them, it's like, we're 19, 20. It's like, you're not expecting some kid to go on and get 4 million to go make a film, you know? It's like, oh, Nan, can you chuck me a 50 so I can fucking pay for people to eat?
Yeah.
It's like the Subway catering costs, you know?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's such a good opportunity though, bro.
But and like, look, there was all these things around, like, it was an unpaid internship, and I got all these questions like, oh, like, are you sure you want to do that? Like, it's unpaid and all this. But, like, the experience that you get from
Invaluable.
it is the connections you make. Like, even now, like, I finished my internship probably like 3-4 weeks ago now.
Yep. Oh, so you're completely done with it now?
Yeah, but the thing is, I've made, like, working relationships with 2 of the main producers there.
Nice.
So it's like, I was texting one of them on the train up here, and he's like trying to get me in with someone in reality TV, and he was like, just kind of, it's kind of nice to just have that support of someone, how he's like, look, it's a tough period at the moment, but I promise you I'm going to help you get something. And then it's like,
that's good, man.
The other photo play producer who's been probably the best to me, she's like, anything that she makes, she gets me on it. So it's like, I've done 2 freelance jobs for her since kind of finishing. And it's like, I finished the last one and she's like, I'm pitching for another one. I'll find out in 2 weeks. But when that happens, you're on it. And it's like, she's trying to get me in the positions where it's not like I'm the runner going to drive an hour away because someone forgot the key for something.
Yeah.
It's like...
AD?
I third AD'd. I'm a professional third AD now, but I third AD'd for the first one that I did freelance, which was it's actually out now. It's for Binge, so that was super exciting.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah. So it was Binge commercial, bro. The budget was cracked.
Nice.
Won't say the number.
How much?
I don't kiss and tell. Anymore. But yeah, and then last week I was on another one for her for a fast food chain.
Yeah, right.
I won't say which one. But yeah, no, so it's just been awesome. And like, look, I think the one thing that I've learnt from the most from the internship is it's like, it's hard to get in, you know. It's like, and there's going to be days where it's like, you think it's all finally going to happen.
Yeah.
And it doesn't.
Yeah.
And you got to have that mental toughness to just be like, it didn't happen today, but that doesn't mean it won't happen tomorrow. Like, I've had situations where it's like, oh, you're going to talk to this guy and he's going to get you on this. And it's going to all line up. And then it's like it doesn't. Or it's like you email the person and then you never hear back. And it's like you do the follow-up and it's like, this person's got the key. And it's like, maybe they don't.
You know, I heard a funny quote this week, and it was from the David Ayer interview.
Yeah,
and
how good was that?
Yeah, I watched it yesterday, and it's how he's talking about Hollywood or getting in the industry is like watching someone you love get fucked by someone you hate. I mean, it's a bit different to what you're talking about, but like in terms of like seeing his movie like fall apart.
That it's really tragic when you actually find out the real narrative of what happened there. Hey, like
all they care
really
is
just
about
screwed them
money.
over. Yeah,
It's a business.
How about you with your internship? Have you noticed is a very money orientated, because like we go through film school, you know, learn the creative aspects of it, but when it gets push comes to shove, isn't money at the end of the day?
Well, at the end of the day, so the way, like where I was interning at, their bread and butter is TV commercials.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You were saying
Yeah.
feature films.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
so what they do is their bread and butter is TV commercials, but they use the extra profit they make off that to help fund their feature films.
that is such a good.
So they have like TV shows with the ABC. They're making a feature film.
just try not to move too much.
Yeah, I can hear the rattling of
I'm
it.
going to come close and then we can stay here. But yeah, no. So like their bread and butter is TV commercials, and the way the TV commercial industry works, or just the advertising industry in a way, is you have like your client goes to the agency, and then the agency goes to the production company. And then there's like the big player agencies. They also do in-house production.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the client's like, look, and to make a TV commercial, it's expensive. Like the minimum you're going to spend on a day is 60 grand.
Fuck
Like
me,
that's
really?
And this is for like something that's 30 seconds.
Bro,
Like your entry level cost is 60 grand because that's to get all the crew there, that's to get all the catering there, that's to do all the logistics. Then on top of that, you've got stuff that's like, okay, shit, we need to get a parking lot for the entire day. How do you do that? Oh, we got to get all the cars there somewhere. You want to get a truck that's got 20 cars on it. How the hell am I going to get a car with 20 trucks to make a car park look full?
Yeah.
Then it's like you tell all the crew, okay, I need you to drive to set this day so you can fill the car park.
Yeah.
There's
But,
such arbitrary costs as well. Like, for example, you think of just paying someone for a day, like MEAA rates.
Yeah.
That's what, like, I don't know. Depends on the role, but what, like 300 to $1,000.
Yeah, I
And then
know.
if there's 20 crew
It
members, you
adds
know what I
up,
mean?
hey.
Like that's
Yeah,
a
it's
third
like
of
I
your
worked
budget.
on a commercial the last one that I worked on had 50 people on it.
Yeah.
And it's like
60 grand minimum.
Yeah.
What's the most expensive one you've been at? You don't have to say the client, but
300K.
fuck me, bro.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
So it's look, it's really cool, and look, at the end of the day, I'm not where I want to be yet, and it's a very entry level stuff, and I'm just
course,
kind of
man.
in
It's the first step.
Yeah.
exactly. So it's just kind of while like I'm definitely not the person dealing with that budget, and I look at those spreadsheets and I'm like, oh my god, like no, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah. So like at the end of the day, it is a business.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and one thing I've realized the most from actually being on these sets, and it's like everyone at film school makes it out that it's the dream, you know, oh, go on a film set, it's
Yeah.
the best thing ever. And then you realize like half the people on that film set,
They're trying to
are
make
in
ends
there.
meet, mate.
bro, they're just trying to put food on the table.
Literally.
And at the end of the day, when we're young trying to get in there, we're kind of viewed as threats because while yes, we're young, optimistic with all these opportunities, there's some like guy who's got 2 kids that looks at you and he's
That's
like,
a very good point.
you're the one that's going to probably take a job off me one day, which means I got to figure out another way to feed my kids, which means I got to figure out another way.
Bro,
That's true.
That's true. That's
It's
deep.
true. It's like the most real thing. It's like you get there and it's like as great as you can be, smiling face, and you got to be a good person. At the end of the day, you're spending like 12 plus hours on a film set.
Yeah.
You're all trying, like, it's high pressured. And one thing, like, being in the room with the producers pre-production wise is like, it's high pressured there as well. You know, they're trying to figure out logistical things. They're trying to figure out, like, I did a commercial how we needed a park with like open air and it needed to have that blue sky because it was for like a skincare company. And it was like that whole like, it was like that whole like movement thing, you know, like flow and shit. So it's like you have like kind of the model with the product and the blue background. And like what you like, and it was hard to get the location because it's like at the end of the day, a lot of skyline, like while Sydney has that blue sky, it's hard to find those exact spots. How it's like we can build a platform, we can set up all these bits and pieces to make it work. And like I had to go do like location scouting for it, and it's like a week out before the shoot, and it's like councils aren't getting back to you.
That happens,
And it's like at the end of the day, the turnaround for these production companies is like 3 weeks.
Fuck, like from shoot to
like
delivery.
Because production companies, they bid off each other from the agency. So the agency will be like, so it all revolves around the director. So the main bread and butter for production companies is making sure that they've got a good director clientele on their list. Because if they have that, then what they can be like is like, say, what's a brand that we can use? V.
Sure.
Josh's, shout out V.
No free promo. Bleep that.
Actually, screw V. I'm a Red Bull drinker. So,
there you go.
So say
Red Bull.
Say the pre-production.
Say Bodie's.
Bodie's. So Bodie's wants to make a commercial.
Sure.
Yeah.
They've got their idea. So they're like, okay, we got this new product coming out. Bodie's will go to an agency. Say they go to ABC Company. Okay. That's just like a generic name. They go to ABC Company and they're like, okay, look, we've got this much money in our marketing budget and we want to make this. The agency will go with them and come up with the idea.
Yeah.
Then the agency is like, awesome, this is kind of the style. Like, what are some directors you like? The agency and the client will sit together. Like, they'll look at heaps of directors and they'll be like,
so it's a talent agency.
No, it's like a creative agency.
Okay,
so
right. Creative agency.
They deal with more than just the commercial. Like they'll deal with the posters that are on bus stops.
Yep,
They'll deal with your things that are on LinkedIn. They'll deal with whatever your Facebook ads and whatnot.
Are they dealing with the actors as well?
They'll help choose the actors, but the production companies will go source them. So one of my jobs when I was in there was like we had this huge job that just got aired for the yes vote for
the referendum,
the voice of Parliament, and so the production company I was at landed the gig for that, which is a huge opportunity.
Yeah, nice.
And but the thing is, it's like the commercial was like a family through generations. Which at the end of the day means you're going to need a whole family from different stages of life, and you're going to need to pick your actor.
Yeah.
So it's like one of my jobs one day was like literally 9 to 6 p.m. I was just laying up casting documents in InDesign. How it's like, okay, you've got one character is a 10-year-old boy. Here is 50 10-year-old boys. We also show him at 18 years old. He's another 18 years old. He's another 50. And it's like, well, you got to make sure they kind of look like, you can't pick a ranger and then pick a brunette. You know what I mean? It's like little Timothy didn't go brown, like hair, didn't go brown hair in in 6 years, you know? He's like, genetics aren't. So,
little Timothy. Shout out little Timothy.
But, so no, like at the end of the day, yes, it's a business and it's like competition between production companies.
Do you find, I don't know if you've been on it yourself, but big directors coming in to do these commercials, are they on the talent list that you said that they have?
Well,
or is it more so directors trying to break out?
Well, so like directors will freelance and then they'll approach production companies and be like, hey, I'm a director trying to get on board at a production company. This is what I've done. They'll do like music videos. They'll do short films. Some will do a feature. And then there are some things how it's like one, like the Voice to Parliament one that they did, like the main director was, I forgot his last name, but his first name is Warwick, and he's one of Australia's biggest directors.
Warwick. No, not Warwick Davis.
No. He's one of his films just won at Sydney Film Festival.
Okay, right.
He's an Indigenous Australian
Warwick
director.
Thornton?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Wow, look at you.
yeah,
He's
so like,
pretty well known.
Yeah.
yeah, so
And
and
I'm
it's
out of the loop.
because like at the end of the day, I'm not huge on like me knowing all my directors and everything.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I remember like being in the office and everyone was like, oh my god, like Warwick's coming in today, like
Yeah.
he's a real deal and everything. And for me, it's like I've never met the guy and I don't know him, and it's just like I'm just like making a sandwich, and it's like,
Yeah,
how you going?
sure.
How you going, Warwick? And it's like,
Yeah.
good,
Hey,
man.
was I?
Yeah. So but no, like it's very interesting learning how production companies, agency, directors, producers, like they're all really hustling to like make money. It's a business.
Yeah, of
and
course.
it's like how the directors themselves, because it's tough in the sense that like agencies will pick their directors, and like the production company I was at has like at least 20 directors on their cards, and it's like, what happens if one of them is just like, oh, we want them, we want them, we want them. Like, what do you
Yeah.
do about the other 5? And then you get those other directors going to them like, I haven't had a gig in 2 months. Like,
Yeah.
when's something else coming up for me? And it's like you put them forward, and it's very interesting to learn all the different layers to it. But at the end of the day,
It's a business.
it's a business.
So, do you think there's something that makes these directors that would get all the gigs? Like, do they have a distinct style or a distinct vision that brings them forward and would make them?
Yeah, of
Get
course.
more gigs than
Like,
others?
There's like, it's like with anything, you know, there's the big directors like Guillermo del Toro, like he owns that kind of dark, mystical. It's
Yeah.
like you're not going to go
Yeah.
get some bloke who's made like one.
You won't go get Guy Ritchie if you want to do.
Exactly.
Something.
So it's like, I think there's a style, and it's like if someone makes a good campaign, then it's like, okay, like he's the real deal.
Yeah. Does it ever come down to like how the director runs a set as opposed to their actual visual style? Would they ever get hired based on that, or that
Well, the
doesn't
first
really?
AD really runs the set, you know.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
like,
That's fair.
and I've been fortunate that like a couple of sets that I've been on, the first AD for it is like the number 1 first AD for TV commercials in Australia.
Yeah,
Like
right.
she's so the real deal. Like when the Women's World Cup was here, she was doing all the commercials for that. Like I remember she was on my first shoot, and it's like I'm in Blacktown Drive-In Cinema. And
Was it Lily Meek by any chance?
No.
No? Okay.
It was like she's so good, but also like so you got to be in the zone with her.
Yeah, of
like,
course.
So what makes her stand out?
She just has been doing it for so long that she knows how many shots you got to do. She knows how to manage people. Like when I was third AD when I was a professional third AD, she was I was technically the second AD for that day, but it was just me and her. And we were in a location how hair, makeup, and wardrobe were on they were in an apartment
Yep.
above, like across the road. So it's like our location's down here.
And bases across the road.
Yeah. And I was in charge of making sure all the actors get from A to B. And like there was a point where, which is another thing about like being young and trying to break it into the industry, like there are people who are doing hair and makeup here that are older than me. Like, you know, they've been doing hair and makeup longer than I've been born.
Yeah.
And it's like when
Wow.
when I come in and I'm like, hey guys, like we got to get this person down there now. And then it's like, they're like, we
Yeah.
need 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but we need them now.
Yeah.
It's like, but we need 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
It's hard. You got to find.
and then it's like, okay, you can have your 10 minutes, and then 10 minutes come, and it's like, we need another 10 minutes. And it's like, there's that, they don't feel threatened by me. And you
Yeah.
wouldn't want someone to feel threatened by you, because at the end of the day, you know, like I'm a people person, you're on set, you're trying to be a good person.
Yeah, of
And,
course.
but at the end of the day, there comes that time where it's like, okay, we're losing money here.
Yeah.
We need this person now. Otherwise,
Yeah.
we're going to screw ourselves for the rest of the day. So then
Yeah.
she comes up, she goes in there, and you can just, the way that she handles it, it's like you can, the way that she speaks in the sense of like, okay, like we got to fix what's going on here.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you guys are doing a great job.
Yeah.
Does she have a good balance of like being strict and also being a good person? Is that what
Exactly.
makes a good ID?
Yeah,
Good
definitely.
AD?
So it's like, you got to know when to put the foot down.
Yeah.
And I think that's like that's one quality that I can definitely improve on. It's like,
Yeah.
because I like to people please. Like there comes a point where it's like I need that now.
I'm excited to see you AD then on
Yeah.
Austin's. And I'm going to go into that. What skills have you taken from this internship that you can now put into play on short films? And is there what's the difference between what you're doing now and on short films?
Yeah, so like I definitely feel like I've learnt how to manage pre-production a little better, like kind of what fully goes into it. You know,
Yeah,
I feel
cool.
like at film school we kind of get told this is the set.
Yep.
And I think kind of being in that room, and the one thing I love about commercials is it's something different every week. You know, it's
Yeah.
like once the commercial's done, it's like, okay, that's done. What's the next one?
And different problems.
Definitely.
We
It's
have
like,
to-
like everything I've been in one in a parking lot where it started raining. I've
Yep.
been by the water and like the wind is out of control. I've been, and it's just,
How to deal with all these kind of situations.
so it's like awesome, like understanding logistics, understanding how things get done is what I've really taken away from it. But at the same time, like kind of that on-set experiencing, and also like just speaking to producers and learning that, you know, like at the end of the day, like there are a few people that want to be a runner for life, and good for them if that's what their passion is.
Yeah, right.
But like it's understanding that while yes, I'm in this, I want to be here, do the things right where I am at the moment.
Yep.
And opportunities will come from that. Like one of the producers that I've been talking to has really been preaching to me, like, be on time, be reliable, get the things done, and don't be a psychopath. And it's like, if you can do those four,
Easy 4, right?
if you can do
I don't know
those
about that
four
last one. It's a bit tricky.
But it's like if you can do those 4 things and you can just be you.
That's good.
It's like opportunities will come. And I think the one thing I've learned the most at the moment is like it takes time. Like one day the phone rings, one day the phone doesn't, and then you got to realize when the phone doesn't that it's part of the journey, and that like it will ring. And if it doesn't ring for a while, then you kind of just be like, okay, fuck, like what am I doing?
Reevaluate.
I know Kieran's going through that exact same thing.
But he seems to be doing really well. Like,
Well,
getting
yeah,
a lot of
but
work.
he has his moments where
Of
it's
course,
just like
but we all do.
no call for like 6 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then now he's a puppet in Jurassic Park.
I saw that.
That's
I
like,
love
one day you're a dinosaur, one day you're not, you know?
that. Exactly.
Anything could happen in this industry.
Reality TV, is that the way to go? Because you're both trying to go down that route by the sounds of it.
Somewhat. I'm dabbling in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to dabble in it as well. But
I'm sort of just dabbling in everything at this point. But I think I'm finally starting to streamline, because this is sort of a problem I've had for the last 6 years now, actually, since I started studying and freelancing and whatnot.
what do you do?
24 now. Just turned 24 last week. And sort of, you know, throughout the past 6 years, since I was 18 and I started film school and stuff, I've been freelancing and doing all sorts of things, like worked at Sky News, worked at a videography company, all sorts of
Sky
stuff. So I was
News.
just, yeah.
There you go.
So I was just trying all sorts of different things,
Good
getting
stuff.
experience. And there were also other things I couldn't control, like, you know, COVID and that
Yeah.
made things a lot more difficult.
Definitely.
But I think I've finally started to streamline where I want to go. And it's what I always knew,
Good.
which is that I want to direct.
Yep.
But I was just trying to figure out so many different avenues to go about it. I was like, oh, what if I be a PA on this? Like, I was just trying to grab everything I could get, but I wasn't really specializing in anything, which is like all right for a certain point when you're trying to figure out where your place is. But eventually, you know, 6 years have gone by and you're not really in the industry. Like, you haven't
So-
cracked in, you know what I mean?
I can be the camera guy. I can be the runner. I can be-
Exactly,
it's like,
yeah.
But if you go in there and you're like, look, I can be the best second AD that you need.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah.
And people know what to call you for, right? And like the people I know that, you know, I went to film school with and stuff that are doing really well now are the ones that specialized in a certain role, whether that's, you know, gaffing or ADing or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I figured I need to do that. And because I really want to direct, what I should be doing is honing in on that craft.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
And this goes with what you were saying. So people like ACs and stuff like that, they're much in like, they're in need. Like people come because, you know, not everybody's an AC or, you know, an AD or whatever. If you're a director, you know, you can't really you can freelance be a director, but on the come up, how do you
That's
do
the
that?
thing. You've got to fund
Yeah.
all your own projects and whatnot, because no
Yeah.
one's going to give you 50 grand to make a short film if you don't have anything to prove, you know? See, I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, I want to get to the point where I'm just making really good short film. Maybe you can give me some advice on this, but like, I'm making my next short film now.
Nice, man.
Yeah, you are. Mr. Uruguay, Master Uruguay.
I'm making my next short film now because I want to keep making stuff and get to a point where I've directed something that, like, you know, someone in the industry can look at that and be like, there's potential here for this director. So, like, I mean, do you feel like I'm going about it the right way in terms of like making short films and directing them and just getting them to a good point? Or is, because I've sort of thought a lot about the other avenue of trying to be a crew member and go in that way, but it's like you can also get stuck in that. And like that's what I'm finding now, like reality TV. I'm doing PA stuff, and that's all, you know, good and well, but it's like that's a very different. Yeah.
So that's like the one whole thing with that reality world. Like I just want to dabble in it for a couple of months and see where I make connections. But like one of the producers was telling me that's like as soon as you get stuck in that, like you can get stuck in
it's
that.
very hard to transition.
But
because good money.
Oh, it's good money.
Yeah.
Oh, commercials pay the best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because on the reality TV, you're an equity minimum for most shows.
Yeah.
And it's like what that is, it's like there's legislation that says that like each of these roles, there's like a minimum that requires, and you're on that. But that minimum's not going to be like $18 like you're flipping burgers at Macca's. That's going to be like 40. That's going to be like $45-50. You know? But it's like you could dabble in like commercials and make even more. Yeah. Then you go into features and fuck, there's barely any money in that. Yeah. Like unless you're on the big ones, it's like
because that's all passion driven, right?
Yeah.
And scraping.
It's like one of the one of the features that they're making at the moment. The guy's been working on it for 13 years.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And it's like now getting the green light. Like far out. But no, what I was like how you were just asking that question. Like, look, I'm no master Uruguay. Like I've just been in the room and had some good conversations with people. But
that's where it starts.
One of the directors there, who actually shares the same last name, so I feel like we're 15th cousins.
Is it Wes?
No, it's not Wes.
Just casually, he's like, oh.
Could you imagine
some rando, you know?
Bro, I'd make that guy coffee for a few years if I had to, you know? It's like, but yeah, no, I was asking him that because I was like, oh, you know, I want to be a producer. And he was like, look, he gave me a really good talk about like people trying to be directors. And it's like, he was telling me like, look, you want to be a director, you got to direct stuff. It's like no one's going to give you a job directing if all you've done is be a runner for.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can be a runner or you can be a PA for however long, but it's like as soon as you like stop making stuff, then that's where the problem kind of begins. So I definitely like.
But not everybody has the money to. That's a problem.
And that's the thing. It is like, but then you can also like.
So is it only the rich people that make it? Is that
no? So he was telling me how like, look, you're gonna have 1 in 8 directors. There's gonna be that one guy who's feeding off that rich money, and it's like comes out of film school and granddad's his 60 grand for your little project, you know? Like
Trump alone of what was it?
Yeah.
$1 million.
Exactly. How did Trump get his success? Oh, his dad gave him $1 million at 18. Oh, like, okay.
Yeah.
But like just making stuff, like understand that stuff costs money, but that doesn't mean you can't tailor your ideas around small stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like Osto. What Osto's doing at the moment.
Like Austin's making a banging short film in a warehouse, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, mate, all you need is the room and the cameras, and you got 2 cameras right here.
And I actually really like working with limitations as well. I feel like it actually makes you more creative. If somebody just throws you $1 billion, this has happened with a lot of big movies recently.
Can someone throw me $1 billion? I won't say no.
This has happened with a lot of big movies recently. Like, you know, you get overindulgent, I think, if you have too much money and too many resources. And you're just, you know, you're like if you have all the options at your disposal, it's like, you know, on Netflix when you have this is not really the same, but like you have a million movies to watch and then you can't pick something because there's just too many options. And
no, like I've got pretty much all the streaming services, and like one night, like when it's movie night and it's like, oh fuck, what am I gonna watch?
Yeah.
Flick through Stan, flick through Netflix. Amazon Prime. Oh, you got to buy that one. Okay.
Yeah, but that's what I did the other night. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
And then you get to Apple TV and you're like, okay, we're here. So, Fetty, what's the plan? From now? Because you said something last time you were on. I don't know if you remember what you were saying. I don't remember either. What are you going back into making your own stuff?
So that's I was thinking about that. Like I was having the other week I was having like a real like in-depth thought with myself, like kind of like, okay, like I can go down this PA runner, which I want to do for a bit, because the one thing that I'm really grateful out of this internship that I did was that I learnt the pathway for where I want to go. Like
That's
I know
good,
what
man.
the steps are. It's like I know the steps that need to be taken to become
Is
a
it
producer.
Different to what they told us in film school.
Oh, I think they missed a few. Like I think there's a couple key ones, but you got to understand that it's like you don't become a producer overnight. And like the room that I was in with all the producers, like they're all in their 30s, they're all in their 40s, some are in their 50s, and it's like they've all climbed the ladder.
Yeah.
It's like the guy who runs the company, you know, he was talking about how he had to work for free for a few years as a camera assist.
Of course. Yep.
The other executive producer was a receptionist for a year.
Yep.
And it's like, you just got to play the game. And I think it's like I've gotten that mental toughness to play the game, and I'm okay to do the hard yards.
Good
for a
man.
bit.
Yeah, cool.
But I do want to create my own stuff.
I miss your rom-coms, man. We need a Federico
I've got
Anderson
an
rom-com.
idea, bro, but the issue is
Is it the letter one?
no.
Oh, you would scrap that.
So the letter one's just in the back pocket, but this
Okay.
one's a different one. It's about someone who's like kind of our age and gets with an older person.
Ooh.
And the whole idea is around
What was that?
The neighbor next door situation.
no international.
Oh.
Like I originally wanted to film it in Spain, but I'm like, I'm not going to fund that.
Yeah, where's this budget coming
So
from?
that's why he was asked if someone chuck $1 billion at me, so go to Spain and film it.
You see Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah.
I want to film this rom-com in Spain.
Just the 90% of the budget of the flights over to Spain.
Literally. Bro, have you seen the flights at the moment?
Yeah.
One thing I've learned from my like normal 9-to-5 job is like the cost of getting stuff overseas. Like they do like big events for corporate companies. So you got all the printers, you got all the badges and whatnot. And the cost of weight, like, oh my God, like, okay, we're doing an event for 5,000 people in London.
Yeah.
You got to get 10 printers over there. You got to get 5,000 badges, which weigh. And it's like, oh, how much did the baggage cost? Oh, yeah, it was $2,000. And it's like, that's $2,000 just to get the stuff over there.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's extra cost.
Yeah, right.
But,
Your films.
yeah, my films.
Yeah.
So,
So I'm just bringing it back.
Yeah, no, so what so I have this idea that I'm trying to work on, and what I want to do is I want to, because like with Ozmar, right, what you've shot is kind of like a bit for a bigger idea, right?
Correct, yep.
So what I want to do is I want to do something similar. Is how I have this
That's
whole,
what he's doing as well.
yeah, so
After the one that I'm
After the
currently
one that
working
you're
on.
doing, yeah.
yeah, so I have this idea of this feature, and it's about a person like kind of early 20s and this lady in her, I'm going to say early 30s, and it's this idea around, you know, those are two stages of life where people are scared of what's ahead. And then there's also that older mindset, how it's like, I'm losing my youth.
Yep.
So it's like this romance, of course.
Of course, mate. You can't.
It's like this romance around the fear of getting old and the problems that come with that.
Yep.
And then also the fear of losing your youth. And these two people kind of being surrounded by each other for a short period of time to kind of like escape.
Nice.
Something I've thought a lot about recently. Like
Dan's
this-
like, I thought of the same fucking idea.
Did you steal my idea?
you know what sorry, go.
No,
what
I
you
just
were
mean
saying.
the themes. Like, this is going to sound so stupid for anyone older, but like, turning 24, I was really like, whoa, like,
Yeah, you're almost
getting
dead,
a bit
mate.
old. No, but it's
How's
like,
those knees holding up? Those knees
mate, they're clicky, But it's like,
Austin's like sitting at home.
yeah, Austin's
Listening
gonna
with his
listen.
arthritis, mate.
He's gonna listen to this and be like, "Shut up, Dan."
He's pushing 40 now. Sorry,
But no,
go.
like, you know, as you get older, you sort of realize that you can't go back to certain stages in your life. You know, like I think about high school and all the memories and things that
I
happened.
love
And like,
high school, yeah.
yeah, I will never go back to high school in my life again, and neither will you boys. And
Yeah.
like film school as well, which I loved, and like I'm never gonna have that experience again. And like, you know, all the things I like to do now, like go to music festivals and stuff like that. I'm thinking like, whenever I go to them now, like it's all, you know, 18, 19-year-olds, and you start to feel old, and you're like, damn, like I'm moving on with my life. You know? And then
Yeah.
I even have friends who are like, you know, getting married and stuff like that, and like,
Fuck yeah.
Are they religious? That's usually like the ones that. get
yeah,
married
a
young.
couple are, yeah, but some are a bit older as well, like 26, 27. But yeah, it's
I mean, we're having a baby. Nah, kidding. Imagine that was
just drops it.
Sarah's watching this. Like,
Yeah,
what the
no, she listens as well. She'll be like, hold on. Something you
Like,
didn't tell me.
I don't remember that.
No, I get you, Dan.
Yeah.
I guess
Do you
I'm a-
guys ever feel like that?
I
I-
haven't
bro.
personally, no, but I'm a bit younger than you. So
How old are you at the moment?
22.
Oh, okay.
I mean, 23 at
23.
the end of the year. but
23 was the first age I hit where I was like,
Yeah.
Like, this is
I'm definitely feeling it at the moment.
Bro, you're a year younger than me.
Yeah, mate.
shut up. No,
like, I
look,
definitely, like,
feelings are valid.
like,
you know?
I feel like I've got a bit of an older soul. Like, well, at least my mother tells me that. You know? But
I'm actually 300 inside.
So wait, you're talking about your film. You want to direct it, but you want to be a producer.
I want to produce
and direct?
Yeah, and then I'll get someone to do the like kind of tough.
Do you want to produce other people's films as well?
I'd definitely be down for it. I think it need to be something like, I remember when I was at like just finished film school and I got offered to produce something. Like it was one of the
I think
guys from
you produced some film called Two's a Lesson, right? Co-produced.
Co-produced. But like with the film that I got offered, kind of that Two's a Listen went pretty well.
I think it did.
Yeah, I think
17 plus
won
international
something,
awards.
yeah.
Yeah. You know.
The old mate that directed it, like after his gazebo went flying in the park, he's gone pretty well from it, you know. Yeah.
Didn't you put some shot bags on it? How did that happen?
I know, mate.
Who knows? It's still a mystery.
All I know is that once it went, the sun was right on Maddie Messenger to get her heat stroke.
Yeah. Heat stroke, sleeping in the car, flying gazebos.
Yeah.
What a Sarah.
A day to remember.
Every day.
A day to
Mate,
remember.
but those are the stories that you laugh about later.
They
You know what I mean?
are,
Like
yeah.
it sucks in the moment, but later on you're like,
And that's one thing that I've really found from like doing like kind of, and like while yes I've been doing like the entry level stuff on these pro shoots, it's like the vibes from pro shoots compared to like
Yeah, I was
with
about
the-
to ask. Different.
Yeah, well at the end
All
of the
the
day it's a
same.
business, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
for some of these guys it's like, oh bro, I just shot a commercial in Palm Beach yesterday. I've had 6 hours sleep and now I'm doing this for the next 12 hours.
yeah,
Like there definitely is that and it's also when you're doing like kind of jobs like VTR for example, like there's only so many jobs for that.
yeah.
And like when the VTR guy's phone isn't ringing and he's got the phone ringing, he wants to make sure that day that things are perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
And it's like, so you get a couple people on edge, you get a like couple like hair and makeup can also be intense, but
There's a lot more at stake.
definitely. Well, it's like you have one bad day, bro. The
Yeah.
phone's gonna stop ringing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like that's why
Yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta.
Reputation, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about who you know.
Yeah. I got a question before we move on to the next seg. Your girlfriend's also in the industry. What's that like? Both
Music
trying to
industry.
make it
gonna ask this too.
creatively, yeah.
I definitely think like recently, like we've both been getting busy, and it's like you learn to just like value the time that you have together. Because like at the end of the day, she gets an opportunity like to jump in the studio with someone, and then it's like I get the opportunity next day to go on a set for 15 hours. It's like those are two creative draining days,
Yeah.
and it's understanding that day after that maybe you get to hang out together. Like yes, you want to go on like a fun date night, but it's like hey, you know maybe a chill night tonight is the way to go. So. It's like managing emotions, managing priorities, and it's also making sure you don't take negative stuff home with you from like a day.
Yeah.
It's like I remember I sent out an email to this person, and the person who gave me the email spelt their name wrong. And it's like, so I send out the email with the spelt name wrong because I was given it wrong, and then I realized in the email header that it was like spelled a
yeah.
certain way, and I was just so pissed that day,
Yeah.
and it was like. Not angry at the fact that the person that gave it to me wrong, is that I didn't realize, like I should have realized, and it was
it's
like
just
that
one
whole
of those
like,
things that happen though.
Exactly,
Like
and then
you
you kinda
can't really
live with
blame anyone for that.
yeah. So it's like that, like for like 20 minutes, I was like, I fucking hate everything,
Yeah.
and it's like, but then I was like, oh, you know, I'm with my girlfriend, like let's go for a walk, let's
Yeah.
go get some ice cream or something.
Yeah. And that's such an important thing to learn about life in general, I think,
Yeah.
because there's so many moments where you're just going to be frustrated or upset with things, but, you know, it'll always get better.
I'm definitely learning to enjoy the little things.
That's good.
You,
man.
you were saying how you both are really busy, but it must be kind of, you know, nice and satisfying to know that you're with somebody that understands the creative
Oh, definitely.
processes, the
Like, we bounce
creative
off-
pressures, but also what is in store for you guys, like the travel that the creative career takes
Yeah.
and stuff. Like it's good to have somebody that
It's
understands.
like next year there could be an opportunity that she goes to like America for a few months.
Nice,
And it's
nice.
like me as a boyfriend is like
Yeah.
you want to be supportive, you know? It's like your partner's about to go have a
That's
chance
awesome.
to live out their
Yeah.
dream. It's like you don't want to take that away from them. And so
Yeah.
it's like it's nice to have that support, and it's also nice to understand like when because like there are days like I'll tell my mum it's like, oh, you know, I just had a long day on a shoot and it was like I'm exhausted, and yeah, my mum's like, yeah, I worked all day too. And it's like, bro, I don't need your comment right now. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, okay, yeah, you worked all day, but like, fuck,
you just want the support.
I've just done 30,000 steps and I'm pissed off for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Can I
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
have
Just let me vent. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like, let me have my minute. Like, I enjoyed the 30,000 steps and I had an
Yeah.
awesome day, but there's that 5 minutes where I'm exhausted and I'm just like,
Yeah.
want to chill out.
Yeah.
And it's like, so it's nice when like I vent to her and she's like, I understand.
Yeah, of course.
Nice.
And also like that creative thing, like when she songwrites and when I'm trying to script write, like getting in that headspace, we both
Yeah.
understand. Like,
Yeah.
It's great.
yeah.
You're surrounded by like-minded people. What are the challenges of being in a relationship with another creative? Are there any challenges? Are there any things that are hard to juggle? Maybe not with your relationship in general, but just like the two different careers.
Not that I found at the moment. Like it's
That's
pretty
good.
good at the moment. It's just like, yeah, like understanding that sometimes you want that half day to write music or sometimes
Yeah.
you want that half day to think about an idea and understanding that you get your time after that.
Or even, you know, you're going to need those 3 months to go to America.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's
But
like
that's what happens, you know,
I was
yeah.
on a like I did a 2-day commercial shoot and it was like both days like 9 a.m. to like 7 p.m. And it's like there's an hour driving each way.
Yeah.
And it's like understanding that those 2 days, like I'm going to be MIA. And when
Yeah.
I'm on set, I'm trying to like network and I'm trying to have a good image. Because
Yeah.
the one thing I've learned is like there is nothing worse than that bloke that's on his phone
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the corner messaging someone when there could be someone who needs help running
Yeah.
a cable
Yeah.
or there could be help with someone carrying a bag.
Yeah.
And so it's like understanding that when she's in her music space and I'm on my film space, like that's priority. But when we get out of that, like we find the time for each other.
I've been through a similar thing. Me and my girlfriend, I mean, we're not in the same industry, of course, but
What does
she's
she do?
She's becoming a nurse.
Oh, yeah, nice.
But like,
Mate, they're the ones that keep the hospitals running.
mate, well, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
100%. But like, it's funny because we both had that, what you're talking about, that situation happened. Number one, when I was on set, like for Ozmar, it was like the first time where we didn't really talk for like a good couple of days, and it was just about
You still love
acclimatizing
me?
and stuff. But then she was on placement for her nursing, and
Oh,
it
bro,
was the
nursing
same thing.
placement
Yeah,
is
yeah,
tough.
yeah.
And it was the
Yeah.
same thing where like we hardly talked or whatever. It's just about understanding that this is the industry that you're in. And I feel like that helps us. You know, we're both in these high intense, you know, it might not happen all the time, but this like, especially now with a placement, it's not all the time, but you know, we have these, you know, couple weeks or couple days where we're both going to be MIA, and it's just about understanding that. And I think what helps me and her as well, especially with future career, is she can do nursing from anywhere. I can do film from anywhere. We're both, but
Can you,
know,
though?
do film from anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to be filming in a certain location. Like you have your network in a certain location.
yeah.
No, he's going to go film a scene in the desert.
I mean, like travel wise, like I can go and set my bro. You have Zoom, you have fucking everything. Like you can go this, there, or the other. It's flexible.
Do you think you could establish yourself as a filmmaker that's working in the industry in any country or place? Yeah, me neither,
Sorry.
Siri.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to answer that question myself.
What do you mean?
Like, you're saying you could live anywhere and be a filmmaker, right? You don't think it's affected by
No,
where you live?
no. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
like,
sorry,
I mean,
but he-
I have my base. Like my
Yeah,
base
yeah,
is
yeah.
wherever she is. But
Right.
then what I'm talking about is like going off to jobs.
Oh, I see.
don't mean
Sorry, yeah.
living over in France.
My bad.
and-
Okay.
Yeah, no, but yeah, no, I don't reckon because you're right. The connections are where you are
Yeah,
as well.
it takes a while to establish yourself. in a new
Exactly,
place.
exactly,
And as soon as you jump countries, like you need to rebuild that connection.
Yeah.
exactly.
It's like you could be the fucking man here. You could be the person that is like, phone is ringing all day, every day. Then you go jump to Denmark or some shit. No one knows who you
Yeah.
are.
That's true.
Exactly.
It's like, oh yeah, I first AD, I direct. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, what? You know?
Yeah,
And
and
it's
they,
like-
as you said, they already have their network of people that
Yeah.
are doing things.
Exactly.
So why
They've-
would you
they've got
come in
their
and just
go-to.
like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like, and I remember, what was that guy from film school, Marcus? You remember old man?
Ah, yes.
I remember he said that when you jump internationally, like for your home base, you got to allow yourself a few years to really build up. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
he succeeded in America and it took him 10 years to succeed in America. And then
Yeah.
he came back to Australia and then it took him a few years to really succeed here.
Yeah. I still think about our convo that we had not too long ago on the pod about, you know, priorities in life and like what you want to do.
Yeah, I think about that all the time.
I think about that all the time as well. And like what me and Dan said like the other week, like to basically rehash it, like we're both like family orientated and like
Bro, you're from the hills.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have a family of 5 by the age of 30, like, what are you doing? You know?
This guy. But we were both like, you know, there's a whole thing in the industry about, you know, sacrifices and shit like that. And you have to make these sacrifices. And you do, like, there are some. But then it's also about knowing who you are as a person, what you're willing to compromise. And, you know,
another thing I was thinking about is like I used to get really stressed. I was like, because you know how you were speaking before about your reputation, how it's important and stuff. I thought like everyone has to like me and like I have to get along with everyone and be compatible with everyone as a worker. But the truth is that because you have a certain style, a certain way of projecting yourself and everything,
people are going to clash.
You're not going to click with everyone, and that's okay. Like you just have to find your network of people that you do click with. And even, you know, as a director, your certain style, not everyone's going to like that, and that's fine because certain people will like that, and you just work with those people that you get along with.
Exactly.
You know, it's like I was even listening to an interview with the Raka Boys when they were talking.
They're killing it.
Yeah. They were talking about how on their film Talk to Me that they just made, they had someone compose the music and then it was just all wrong when it came in, and then they were literally like 2 weeks away from when it needed to be finished, and they got another guy to come in and he fixed it up.
Composed the whole thing in 2 weeks.
Yeah, this
That's
guy
nuts.
did like a crazy job.
Must have been Federico.
my God.
But it's like, you know, I was thinking about that guy before, and he's probably got, you know, years of experience and whatnot. And, you know, in his mind, he could be thinking like, oh, you know, I messed up these jobs for the boys. You know, I'm not good. But maybe he just wasn't right for what they wanted. And that's okay. Like people have these things happen, and you're just compatible with certain people and you're not compatible with others, and that's it.
Another thing with the Raka Boys, and you're talking about, you know, finding that connection of people and sticking with them, like their makeup artist they've had since the early days of YouTube.
Yeah.
And that makeup artist was the makeup artist on Talk to Me.
Wow,
Really?
there you go.
Yeah.
I love that, like
I love
growing
Ronald
with
McDonald skits.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, fucking.
bro.
Yeah.
I swear we've talked about Raka every episode for the last like month and a half
Yeah.
now. But bringing it back to that, you know, priorities and stuff, like I think I've kind of established like I'm like comfortable with like doing what I want to do, and yeah, I have dreams and stuff, and I will chase them as much as I can. But when it comes to like say sacrificing like a family or like, you know, girlfriend or stuff like that, I don't think I'm.
And that's good. You know who you are. You know what your priorities are.
Yeah, no, that whole thing about dreams, it's also important to set goals within those dreams.
Yeah. What about you? What about if you know, you got an actually no, this is probably a bad question to ask on the pod, but like, what's your limitations when it comes to, you know, chasing this dream? What happens if it meant sacrificing, you know, the relationship you're in or something like that? It's a hard question, and you don't need to answer it, and you don't need to know what you're gonna say. But you're both in the creative industry. That may be like a challenge that you guys may have to talk about later on in life.
Look, I think like if you can't last a few months long distance with with someone, then you can't really be with them. You know?
Exactly.
It's like
Yeah,
you
for
gotta
sure,
be able
mate.
to have that week away.
That foundation that you're building now.
Definitely. But at the same time, look, if there was an opportunity for my girlfriend to go to LA or something,
Yeah, you wouldn't stop
for 6 months, I wouldn't stop her. And if there was an opportunity for me to go somewhere, she wouldn't stop it for me either. And
sure.
look, you make it work, and if something happens along there, then something happens, and that's just part of life. But
I like that.
you got to go about things the right way. And look, I'm not too worried about down the track right
Good
now.
man.
I'm worried about
Yep.
right now. You know, like I'm not caring right now what a year and a half looks
Yeah.
like work-wise. I'm making sure that the next month there are some goals that I'm hitting. And if you're really like obsessed with like, oh my God, like what happens if I get an opportunity to go here? And it's like, oh my God, everything around it. It's like, you're not even going to get that opportunity because you're so fixated on it.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like exactly what you were saying as well. Like if you're too focused on the problems you may have with future relationships or whatever when it comes to your career, then you're going to be missing the time that should be spent to build that foundation to be okay with those problems later on.
And it's like you're creating problems within your relationship that's not there yet.
Exactly.
You know, and then you add that you add that kind of thoughts in your head, and then you start living with all these emotions.
Yes,
and it's like,
exactly.
bro, you're stressing.
Build that foundation now, so when those come up, you'll work through it if you guys are.
Exactly.
Exactly. Happy? All right, now we're 50 minutes in, so we'll scrap a couple segs.
Yeah.
We'll go into the progress. So we know where you're at now, Fetty. Dan, tell us, what have you been doing this week?
Yeah, I've had a good week.
Yeah?
Pretty excited about things actually.
Good man.
So I've got this new short film that I've been working on, a script
Nice.
from my friend Anya who wrote it.
Shout out, Anya.
Fantastic
Shout out.
script. It's 7 pages. It's very simple. You can make it on a low budget. It's like 2 actors, one-ish location.
Nice.
There's a little bit of like VFX, CGI potentially.
Okay.
Which I had a phone call with one of my mates who works in post-production for ILM. And so I just...
ILM's going to do the VFX.
No, he's not. He doesn't know
Ozmar.
because he was saying like, you know, it takes years and years to get really good at VFX. And
What
like,
kind of VFX are you after?
well, there's some like,
She explodes.
it's like, you know, the auntie that blows up in Harry Potter.
Yes. yeah.
No. Like, there's just a creature that lives inside a person for the script. So like, there's like, you know, like a wound that gets opened and like black stuff shoots out and then it closes up. Things like that.
That's more makeup, isn't it?
Yeah, but then it's like if the wound's
the
closing
closing
up,
back
or like,
up, yeah.
well, I was just talking to my mate and I said, "What do you think I can do practically, and
Yeah.
what can I do CGI?"
That's good.
And then he was like, "Here's 3 options, like the cheapest, easiest way to do it," and
What
he's
did he
like
say?
the most expensive way. Well, like ideally, the cheapest that will look the best is prosthetics, like use makeup and just make the story work in a way where you don't have to show too much. And then obviously like the most difficult way is, you know, trying to, because he said with VFX, with 2D effects, it's quite, that's okay. Like
Yeah.
you can do that for relatively cheap and whatnot. But, and my mate, he knows how to do that, so he'll help me with that.
Nice.
But once you start going into the world of 3D, like crazy camera movements and
Yep.
things moving and stuff, that's when it gets a lot more complicated and more
Yeah, for
expensive
sure.
as well.
That's like animation.
Yeah.
The 2D, 3D difference.
Exactly right. So it's like, in that regard, I think I'm just going to try and think of a way to keep the effects 2D. And,
Cool.
and I want to use practical elements. I don't want it to look cheap. or
Nice.
whatever. So yeah, that was all things to consider. I had a meeting with my producer as well. And he just said, my mate Ed, he's a pretty honest guy. He's really good. He was just like, yeah, like I read the script and I think it's great. And like coming from him, that means a lot because, you know, he really knows his cinema well, like not just American cinema, but international cinema. He's always telling me this filmmakers I've never heard of. So it's good hearing that from someone who actually knows their shit.
Just a point, international cinema is like...
Yeah, you love your international
It's
cinema.
Bro,
fantastic.
American cinema is made to sell money, whereas international cinema is made to tell stories.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I like that.
And they all have different styles as well,
Yeah.
which I'll touch upon later with a Spanish
Yep.
directed film I watched later. But yeah, so had that meeting with my producer. We just talked about like logistics and whatnot, but it's all very early stages of development right now. But it's really exciting, especially because I've only directed films that I've written up to this point. This is the first time I'm going to direct something that someone else has written. And I'm actually really liking that.
It's a good challenge.
Yeah, because it's what I said before about limitations on creativity.
Yeah.
And like, because I always second guess my own writing and I'm like, this could be better, and I'm rewriting it. But in this case, like I read the story and I like it and I know that the story's there.
Yeah.
So it's just going through and making directing choices that I feel like could make it as good as possible. So I'm like
Nice.
delving into the script, making notes, putting
yeah.
together like a visual Bible to show people, just doing all that kind of stuff.
Love
And
it.
then I have a few questions that I just pitched to the writer because I want to fully understand what the script is and their intentions.
Nice.
But at the end of the day, sorry, just one thing.
I got a question for you.
Yeah, cool.
No,
At
go
the
on,
end
go
of the
around.
day, you're directing it, so it's your vision and you can bring to it what you want. Like, it
Nice.
doesn't really matter what the writer wanted, but I still want to know what she intended so I can make
Amazing.
it and then add my own
I love the
spin.
collaboration.
Yeah, it's a collaborative process. So.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Betty.
So I've heard about the idea, but I don't fully know it yet. What is the, if you were to log line it to me right now after like you're going through this process, do you have like your kind of one liner for it yet?
Ooh. Because I haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
So this is different to the feature that you're writing.
Yeah, but it's interesting because thematically there are some similarities. Like
Cool.
they both share themes of family and motherhood.
Nice.
But yeah, it's just about a woman who wants a baby really badly and her husband doesn't. And then
Shit, those are some heavy themes, brother.
yeah, and then he gets taken over by a creature. And then I won't really say what else happens. But yeah.
Fuck, not bad.
Yeah.
Put a spell on him.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something. A funny thing happened this week, but before I say that, it was a good challenge for me as well. Like, although I did still write this, it was an adaptation, and I feel like, you know, it's good to challenge yourself sometimes rather than just write your own thing. You know, whether you're adapting, whether you're doing somebody else's. You know, it's fantastic. The funny thing that happened this week, and it's going to sound really like arrogant, but I promise it's not. It's from a funny place.
Okay.
So I was watching back some of the scenes of Ozmar, and because I'm like getting the music for it. And I was like, fuck, man, this is good dialogue. And I'm like, I wonder if this is straight out of the book or from me. So I went and got the book and I went to the scene and I opened it and I'm like, yeah, that was me. I'm like, wow,
Nice.
great writing, Josh.
That's a good feeling, yeah.
Great
That's
writing.
good, man.
But yeah,
no,
sorry.
I loved your script when I read it. 'Cause
Yeah.
like, to be completely honest, when somebody sends you a script, you never know
you
how it's
don't.
going to be.
Yeah. I've read some bad scripts. I've read good scripts. Yeah.
But reading yours, I was like, well, this is actually really good. And
Yeah.
it feels so good to be able to say that to a friend of yours. Like,
Yeah.
I genuinely like this. I'm not just saying this because I'm your mate, but
Yeah.
even if I wasn't your mate, I'd be like, I really like this.
Yeah.
And I would watch
And
this.
I know you would tell me if it was shit
Yeah,
as well.
exactly,
And we were
yeah.
talking about that during the week, how it's hard. And you said you were frustrated because, you know, people aren't always going to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Do you want to delve more deep, like a little bit? into
Yeah,
that?
and like I do understand it because there's only a certain level of criticism that you can give someone while maintaining a good friendship and
Yeah.
not, you know, crushing their dream.
Yeah, of
Like,
course.
if something's really bad, you can't just be like to someone, look, this is
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah.
Because then they're just going to get defensive and upset and you're not really helping them.
I feel like if they're defensive, mate, they're in the wrong industry because it's all about learning.
Yeah. What I like to do is the compliment sandwich. I
Ah,
guess. Is
right.
that what
Yeah,
you call it? So be like,
compliment, put them down, compliment.
Yeah, it's like, this is really good. I like this. However, this could be better. But
Yes.
I really like this. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
So,
One thing I've like realized, like just with my 9 to 5, when you're making like content like all day, every day,
Yeah.
that first, like it could be fucking terrible,
Mm.
but you just gotta have that first little bit of just like, thanks for making this like great job.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, I like what you did there, but like, you know what I mean? It's like, if you just come out with like, bro, what the hell is page 5? That's
they
a
feel
piece of shit."
unappreciated. Yeah, definitely.
Fucking page
definitely.
5.
Bro, honestly, like, delete the movie just because of page 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, because at the end of the day, like, you're spending time and effort on something.
Exactly,
Yeah, you've put your
man.
heart and soul into that, and
It's
like,
like-
you know,
and-
we all have feelings, and
Exactly, and it's good to get that feedback because you know, like, at the end of the day, when it's one point of view, you're gonna think it's amazing, but then you got to take into other considerations.
Yeah.
Of, like, there's 7 billion people in this world, mate.
Exactly.
They're not all gonna love it.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
why you listened to the last podcast, and that's why I'm doing something different for my next short. I'm hiring the 2, well, I've already hired 1, but I'm getting the 2 actors in before I even write the dialogue.
I think that's a cool idea.
And
Do
I'm
you
going
already
to
know
get
your
them.
actors?
I know one of them, and I think I might know the other one. I have someone in mind, but getting them to talk out each scene and get an understanding on how these people would communicate and then take bits of pieces of that. We're getting different perspectives here because I haven't been through what my characters in my next short are going through. So to get people's different perspectives, write my own dialogue from that, I think it's something different.
Well, you know, you've got your pieces of the puzzle in
Yeah.
front of you. It's like you're an artist, you know.
Exactly, mate.
You've got your
Need different
paints,
brushes,
You've got
cuz.
your paints. You got
There
your
you
brushes.
go,
in
yeah,
there.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
gonna do the trees. You're gonna do the ocean.
There you go.
What's if you were to one-liner your
I can't yet.
can't?
I haven't told anybody anything about it. Like even none of the boys like know what the action.
Wow.
This is the best thing I've ever worked on. Probably will be the best thing until, I don't know what.
Inception
Yeah.
times 10.
Bro,
Inception
When-
meets
when-
Oppenheimer meets Barbie meets Mission Impossible. You find the best 5 minutes from each of them.
meets.
You put it on a platter, and then he sculpts it.
It's the perfect anthology.
Yeah, exactly. You missed one movie though. When it meets Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Oh, I thought we were gonna say Now You See Me.
Oh, next time. Fuck off, mate.
Do you love that movie?
Is this
Now You
your
See Me,
cock,
yeah,
bro?
it's a good one.
Is this your cock?
Is this your
Oh,
cock?
is this your cock?
When the hell is there a cock in Now You See Me? Bro? I don't know what porn spin-off you're watching.
Oh,
but
God. Were you going to say something, Dan? When I was talking about the script?
Oh yeah, what makes it so good? Like, is it the intricacy of
Yes.
yeah.
It's the intricacies. And I felt that way with, Ozmar was a bit different because I had the source material.
Yeah.
But with Two Celeste, it was like crafting magic trick. This is
Yeah.
like that on steroids. Like
Ooh.
it's like what makes this good is like how like layered it is and how everything connects. And I haven't really been able to do that before. And the themes are so heavy. Anyways, I've gone on and on about it before.
I'm surprised that you're able to do that in what I'm assuming is a drama, right? Like it's just a drama.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I can't wait to write it. I'll get it done.
Oh, you haven't started writing it yet?
No, that's the thing. Like we've had hours and hours of it's literally like an 1,000-piece puzzle, and we're putting them in bit by bit.
So
and,
you kind of know the beats though, like
yeah. We know the story now. It's just about we've spent like I reckon over 10 hours coming up with the story, and the intricacies. So now when we go back, I think the next session we're beat sheeting it and polishing it up, and then we'll have a proper structure and everything. But
beautiful.
Is it as big picture as like Ozmar?
No.
Or is it like a lot more simple?
way more. Not simpler in terms of structure.
But just like in the setting, it's like...
Yes, yeah. It's like one location.
Logistically
one or two.
similar,
Yeah, logistically similar. Way more complicated in terms of structure and layers. And I feel like I can do that because it's so much smaller than Ozmar.
Is it non-linear or can you not
Yes.
say? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sick. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting. I'm keen.
Definitely.
Keen.
But yeah, that's all I was like. Was there anything else that you did this week, progress-wise? How's your feature? Right anymore?
Oh, I've sort of just... yeah. So like I basically got to about 70 pages.
Nice.
And it sort of reached like a natural-ish conclusion but what I did was I left plot threads throughout. So there are certain things where I'm like, I could, have a flashback here or like flesh out this further, but I didn't because I didn't want to get too attached to an idea, spend ages writing it and then be like, this sucks and get rid of it because I always tend to do that. So it's like, it's a 70-page script, but it could easily like, once fleshed out, it'll be like 100 pages kind of thing. So I was like, okay, cool.
Damn, Daniel.
Yeah, I was like, cool. That's
Back at it again
that.
with the white vans.
That's the one.
I'm gonna just sort of shelf this for now while I work on this short film.
Nice.
And
At
then,
least you have it, mate. At
yeah,
least you have
exactly.
it, like,
And then I think maybe, I don't know, in a month or so, or maybe even after I finish this short film, like in some amount of time, I'll return to the script when I can and then do a new outline and then do a new draft that's hopefully much more finite. And
like
then
the whole
you can
70
read that.
pages again.
Yeah, I'll write the whole thing again.
Fuck. Good man.
I mean, obviously, I'll take a lot of what's already there.
Yeah, that's the
and
way.
implement that.
You know the
Rewrites.
I know the story.
the story. Yeah.
I'm proud of you, Dan.
Thanks, mate.
You did it, and I'm excited to see what you got coming up.
Yeah.
You got to fix that hair. That headphone is like shooting that to this.
It's all right. Fuck it. Do I look like Sonic?
Just a little.
All right, cool. That's fine. So what have I been doing? Oh, before I get into that, I just want to say it's pretty cool how we have all different genres within the group of the boys.
Yeah.
We have rom com, horror, Austin, action, Lockie, whatever he does. He's done war, whatever, and then I don't know what I do. I just do whatever. But I think it's cool.
What would you say your genre is? Just whatever tickles your fancy, or
Yeah.
Dead people's books.
Dead people's books.
I think you very much have a flair or a taste for things that are like epic
Magical,
or grand or
Yeah.
fantastical.
Yeah.
Like,
Grand.
Yeah, 100%. And you can definitely hear it in the music.
Yeah,
as well.
100%. Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of, this week Federico has, he's working on the final track of the film at the moment, and then he has to go back and like write one more piece of background music, and then he's gonna mix them or not mix them, but just like polish them, and then when they're all polished, he just wants to make them sound. I don't know what he does. He says he mixes them, but makes them sound better. But yeah, then he's done. But he sent me a little bit of because he wanted to check that he was on the right page. So he sent me the last piece of like transition music, and I know that won't probably make sense to you guys, but it's amazing. Like one of the fucking, and I don't say this lightly, like this guy's one of the best composers I've ever heard. Like it's like I listen to his music, and then say I listen to Ludwig Göransson, Oppenheimer, or whatever. I'm like, bro, there's not much different. Like this guy can do what these other composers are doing. He's just undiscovered. It's fucking nuts. And I'm so proud of him and I'm so happy with what he's done. And I can't wait to show you a little bit after this because you've seen nothing, mate.
Yeah.
You've seen nothing. But yeah, and then I finished the sound design completely this week as well.
Awesome.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just clean up the timeline a little bit because I don't really know exactly where to go. I'm going to try do a little bit of pre-mixing, just like set all the footsteps to the same volume or set all the dialogue or whatever. And then I'll send it off to get mixed properly. Connor said he started the grade, but I'm not too sure. I haven't really heard from him. And then that's basically what I've been doing is just like finishing this sound design and awaiting this, the composition. But it's a lot of back and forth and talk between me and Federico. But yeah, I'm in the final stages. Pardon me. But yeah, it's very exciting. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. That's I've literally been so busy with work and everything. But I still managed to see a couple movies. But yeah, in terms of my own progress, sound design complete, composing will be complete within the next couple of days. And then Lockie's got to clean up the audio. Lockie, when you're listening, clean up the audio, please, when you have time. And then yeah, once that we get it mixed, get it graded, done. So we're on schedule. We've hit every deadline on schedule. Perfect. Then I've got to do ADR. Actually, that's what I got to do. But I can't do ADR until Lockie cleans up the audio, so we know what if we need ADR or anything. It's funny because not funny, but I played around a little bit with the. So we had 9 takes. You know my opening scene. You probably don't, but the opening scene over black. Where they're talking over black. Yeah. So we had 9 takes of that. And what I did is I went through all 9 takes. There was about 17 lines, 18 lines in the whole one take. Yeah. And I went through each take and I found the best performance of each individual line and stitched it all together, and it's seamless because it's like filmed in the same place.
Does it sound...
Yeah. It sounds
flows?
fantastic. Okay. It flows perfect. But what I've done is because in the opening... over black, I just had it originally their voices, and she's talking about how she's hearing voices or whatnot, and then she was talking about how she was hearing voices, and they're talking about it's just establishing a bit of exposition through this little conversation, but I'm like, okay, she starts the dialogue with her coughing, but it's nothing huge, and I'm like, if it sounds a bit like she goes and then starts talking, I'm like, that's not enough. There needs to be something. So then I had an idea on to sound design it and have it as you hear these voices inside her head from the very start. So I got this.
That's cool.
I did some sound design, and you hear like these evil whispers
that's sick, yeah,
in the background, and you hear that as she's talking. Then as she breathes, and he's like, okay, just breathe, and then the voices disappear when she breathes.
Yes,
and then it's just silent, and then one more breath, and as she exhales, you hear the sand start to come in, and you see the drone shot. I'll show you after, but I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah. That's so good.
But yeah, I'm very happy with how the sound design is now. It's just about polishing up and doing that. And that's all I've done. So we're almost ready to go. But yes, let's talk about, before we end, some things that we've been watching this week. Federico.
It's a tough one. Okay.
What things you've seen lately, mate?
I've seen all the big ones. Like I saw the new Mission Impossible, new Oppenheimer, Barbie.
What about something that maybe not is mainstream? How about No Hard Feelings? I watched that 2 nights ago.
Oh, you did watch it.
I watched it 2 nights ago.
So on that, and my love for rom-coms, I watched the other, last week, The Girl Next Door. It was early 2000s, and the pictures that it's the guy's senior in high school.
Yep.
He's been that really quiet, trying to get the scholarship and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And next door, this chick moves in for a couple of weeks, and she's a porn star.
Nice.
And it's actually we're talking early 2000s, probably 2003.
Oh, I saw your review on Letterboxd. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. It wouldn't win an award. But
I swear you say that about every rom-com.
Yeah, but that's the way that the industry is. If you read anything in fucking any movie review place, they review it like it's meant to be the fucking Oscar winner. That's how movies unfortunately get reviewed, is that they review it comparing it to things that it shouldn't be compared to.
Yeah.
You know what? It's look at it from what it is.
For sure. I agree. It's the intention of the film.
Exactly. It's they're not making it to be like really dramatic
Yeah.
and stuff. It's like, and that's like anything in life, you know. It's a piss take.
Yeah.
It's like
For sure.
with some themes.
I was gonna say, what movie I've been intending to watch is the one you told me about, the German one, where it's just like two guys talking in a bar. The whole time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
that
it's
is
on my list.
so good. I watched another international film that was Danish. It like got nominated for an Oscar. Everything like best international film. And it's called Another Round.
Oh, yeah.
With Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah. That one's good. I rewatched that. I watched this French one recently called Masquerade, which was really, really good.
Yep.
And
If you were to recommend one for people listening, what would you recommend?
an international
And anything.
anything
that you've seen lately.
I'll just give you my like best international film.
Go.
Perfect Strangers.
I've heard you talk about that.
Yeah, so I don't know if you've heard of it, Dan.
No.
So film is it's all these friends coming over for dinner, and it's like they're having the thing, and they all put their phones in the middle of the table.
Oh.
And whenever the notification pops up, they got to read it, and they're all hiding so much from each other.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's just like, what happened? I can't.
That's a
Yeah,
sick.
don't.
Okay,
I
I'm
can't
gonna
take
watch
anymore.
that. Yeah.
It's like
Cool.
That's
honestly
sick.
like one of the best, and the ending, it's just like
Wow.
Insane.
Okay,
Just, like,
that
awesome.
sounds great.
Yeah,
Cool
but
film.
I'm
Good
a
stuff.
big fan. I really want to watch the worst woman or the worst person in the world.
Yeah.
I really want to watch that. Like I wanted to watch it last night, and then I didn't because I was on the call with Austin.
You're a big Wes Anderson fan. Have you
I
seen
am.
the most recent Asteroid
I haven't seen
City?
Asteroid City yet.
Mm.
Like what is like I wanted
I'm sick
to go
of him, so but
I
sure.
wanted to go watch it. I'm an early Wes Anderson kind of guy. Like French Dispatch, I'm not that hot on it. Like it was okay. I know it's good. It was just like I've seen better Wes Anderson.
Like when Wes Anderson did Broken Record. Sorry, that was Federico Anderson. My bad.
Easy to get them mixed up.
yeah.
Exactly. But no, my like go-to Wes Anderson's Royal Tenenbaums, the Djarian Unlimited, Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Good man. Awesome. So Perfect Strangers, that's what you recommend.
Get on it.
Good stuff. Dan, what have you
Sweet.
seen this week?
What did I watch? Oh, Mission Impossible Fallout.
Yeah, you finally watched it?
Yeah, it was
Did it live up
fantastic.
to-
It really did.
Is that
Yeah,
the latest one?
like
No, the
6.
one before.
I'm gonna watch tomorrow. I'm gonna see 7. Is it
Yeah.
good?
Oh, it's amazing.
I love
so
it, yeah.
good.
Better than
Oh,
6?
yeah.
No.
Okay.
So good. And that British chick that's in it, like, she's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Hayley Atwell.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, is she in it?
Yeah, she is.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel like they really just brought together the best of. I remember on the last pod I was saying that there was a darkness to the first Mission Impossible
Yes.
that they sort of took out. I feel like they brought it back with this new one, and there's like more
Yeah.
themes of espionage. People like,
How good is Henry Cavill?
yeah. Oh, he was so good in it. Sad what happened. But
Okay, let's
yeah.
not.
I think Austin
Fuck.
already did
Bro,
in another
last time
pod.
you
though.
guys spoiled.
Okay,
like,
can
4
we say
movies.
a community service announcement? We apologize. We've spoiled so much in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
From now on, we'll make more conservative effort
So
to.
no more on Mission Impossible 6.
Okay. Anyway, but it was a great film, like really great, best action sequences of the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I do have a soft spot for the 4th one. The 4th
Yeah.
one is just so fun. Like it's just a summer film. I just really like.
Rogue. Is it Rogue?
Ghost Protocol.
Ghost Protocol.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I feel like this one's probably on par with 4. Like I feel like it's objectively the best
sure.
Mission Impossible film,
Yep.
like on a technical level.
Yep.
It's just
The
really good.
IMAX.
Dude, like I love IMAX when it's used sparingly.
Yeah.
So like
When's the Sydney one going
Fuck, bro. I think
I know.
I drive past it every day. I'm like, when is this fucking thing opening?
Well, like the company that built that tower, like
Yeah, they
three
went
different-
bust or some
3
shit.
different companies have built it.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
first 2 went bust.
yeah.
But I saw them cleaning the windows the other day.
Yeah, I see. I've
always-
seen inside at night. They have the lights on.
Yeah,
Like, it's
bro,
getting
it's
close.
Getting close.
Yeah.
It's getting
But yeah,
close.
so in that IMAX, you would have seen the Fallout, the scene where they put in the helicopters and shit.
Yeah, so it's like
Insane.
I love like how you got the aspect ratio with the black bars.
Yeah.
and, you just see it start to open up. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, and
Yeah.
It's just so
sorry, what?
immersive.
How do you go? Oh!
Something like that. Yeah, make that a clip. Yeah, it's just so immersive. But it does. I wouldn't want a whole film like that because it feels a little bit like
Yes,
a documentary.
Yes.
You know what
yes.
I mean?
Yep. 100%.
So, but no,
It's-
just for sequences, it's great. And like Interstellar is this. Like there's
Mm.
heaps of IMAX films. But yeah, no, that was. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars.
Nice.
So
Only 4. Oh yeah, you don't
Yeah,
get
like, I
fives.
was-
You got mad at me and
Bro.
me and Austin earlier
5
this
is
week.
a tough thing to give out. Like I'm a strong
Yeah.
4.5 kind of guy.
Yeah.
I was debating giving it a 4.5
Yeah.
because I just really liked it, but I was like, 4.5 for me is just reserved for movies that I really froth
Fair.
and like talk about all the time.
Have you ever given a 5?
Yeah, Good Will Hunting,
Oh, okay.
Whiplash.
Yeah.
Like just my favorites, basically.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
So that was that film. Something I did want to talk about is another film I watched called Sound of Freedom,
Yes.
which is a film about child trafficking.
Yes. Yeah. It's controversial, I heard.
English?
No, so it's a Spanish director, but the film is like half English, half Spanish, or like
Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom, and it's a sleeper hit. So
that's what
it's
I've
made
heard.
a lot of money, which I think the reason is because of the message.
Yeah.
Like it's really exposing something that a lot of people sort of turn a blind eye to.
Yeah.
And when the film ends, it says like, "Oh, special message in 2 minutes." And yeah,
Special
it's at the
message.
cinema. Yeah, and you keep watching like after the credits, like
Yeah.
there's a countdown, and then the main actor's like, "Oh, thanks so much for watching. Like this is a really important film. We've got to get it around because it's something that people turn a blind eye to." Like it was saying that there's more slaves in captivity right now, like human slaves, than any other time in history. Which is like shit like that is crazy when you really think about it.
No one realizes
Yeah.
how good Australia is.
Yeah, literally.
Like,
and
you
like
can complain about cost of living, you can complain about everything, but we don't realize we can walk out of our house and not
literally
feel like there's a strong chance I can get kidnapped, shot, or killed.
and guess where the most amount of slaves are. It says this in the film.
Colombia.
United States.
What?
Yeah. So apparently, like the guy said at the end, they were trying to get this movie out for like 4 years or something, and there were certain people that didn't want it out. And there were I don't know if this is my conspiracy mind going on, but like we got into the cinema and it was really hot. Like someone had cranked the aircon up, and then like my brother went and complained about it, and then they were like, "Oh, it's gonna take a while to cool it down." And then I was talking to my dad about it later, and he was like, "Yeah, someone told me that apparently in America, like in all the cinemas that are playing this
want you
film,
out.
yeah, like they're doing things like that, or they're keeping the lights on, doing things like that. I don't know if this is conspiracy, but it's really interesting.
Why
if they don't
keep
want
people captive inside the...
No. Like they just don't want people watching the film because it's spreading a message that they don't want out
I was
there.
going to say, like, what the... Like,
Yeah, and
the
then
most amount of slaves, yeah, they're doing the popcorn. And, like, but it's a real thing.
Yeah,
Like,
so
slaves and, like, just everything.
Yeah.
yeah, but it really it exposes certain truths. I think like the film on a technical level, it was like all right. It's like it's very. My mum watches a lot of Spanish and like foreign TV shows,
What
and I
background,
could.
though?
My mum's Brazilian, my dad's Italian. Yeah.
I can see the Brazilian.
Oh, thank you.
Turn around. Yeah, I can say it.
From there, no. But like some bits are a bit on a technical level. The film's okay. Like there are some bits that are overplayed. Like the main character's a cop, and in every scene he's got a tear in his eye, and I'm like, come on, like no police officers crying this much. Like, you know what I mean?
Policemen can't have
It's true
emotion.
though. Like they're all
Nah,
pretty
yeah, fair,
hard.
fair,
You know
fair.
what I mean?
Yeah. Oh,
But
sorry. I'm sorry.
I think this is serious.
Yeah,
John.
what's happening? Sorry, my bad.
But I
topic.
think this movie is worth seeing and worth spreading around because of how important the message is, and
for
I think
sure.
that's why it's made so much money. Like it was like a $14 million budget, and it's made like 200 million.
Oh,
or something.
wow.
So it's really
Good on them.
getting around now, which is
They should
so
put some of the profit towards, like...
They should.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So guys, definitely recommend checking out
Go
Sound
watch
of
Sound
Freedom
of
if you
Freedom.
haven't already. What
Yeah.
else did I watched the film, a Stan original called Relic.
Okay.
This is an Australian film that I've heard a bit about. It's a horror film. And some of the themes are similar to what I'm writing about now. So it's quite a slow film, but the ending was a good ending.
Good
I think
man.
I
Yeah,
gave
yeah,
it
sweet.
3.5 or 4 stars, but not
Cool.
too much else to comment on, just your typical
You saw Ahsoka, right?
horror film. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Are we gonna spoil it? No.
Oh, it was just a good episode.
No.
Like, I don't think we should spoil it, but like,
Okay.
yeah, I enjoyed the episode.
Yeah, sorry. I tend to get overexcited, and because like no one in my life really likes Star Wars other than you guys, so when something cool happens, I like, wow.
No, that's fine. I have no issue.
Yeah, but no, he
I'd
tends
say
to
this-
hype it up. I've done that so many times, especially at Osto when I've seen a film, and then he watches it, and then I've like overhyped it. But it was just a solid episode,
Yeah.
and then the ending, it brought me to tears.
Sorry, one more thing I wanted to.
Sure,
I
sure.
actually watched a lot of films. I watched Past Lives as well. That
Yes.
A24 drama.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
really beautiful. I just
is that the new one that's just coming
Yeah.
out? Bro, that thing is making so much money.
Is
It's
it really?
like crazy? Yeah, it's like I think it's like one of the most popular films in the world at the moment.
wow, because I thought it had like a limited release. Because I've been waiting months for it to come out, and they only just dropped it because it premiered like start of the year
good
or
though?
something. It's good. Yeah, it's. I wish.
What'd you rate it?
I think I gave it 4 out of
Okay.
5. So it's
You
like
gave it a 4. The fact you gave it a 4.
it's a little bit slow at some points, and like I wish they delved into certain themes. Like they talk about culture, and like the main character, she's divided between 2 worlds because she's married to an American man, and then her childhood friend comes and he's from Korea, so it's like her being divided between 2 worlds. I wish they delved into those themes a little bit more, but like you can just tell that the movie's made with care and with tenderness and precision, and like those tender moments
Made
that
with
hit.
love.
Yeah, no, genuinely, and like those moments that really hit for me. So I really enjoyed it. So yeah.
Nice.
What about you, Josh? What have you been watching?
Well, Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I thought the last episode was one of the best, most recent pieces of Star Wars that we've seen. In
I actually
a while.
enjoyed the episode before that as
I
well.
know you
thought it was
did.
good.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
you like it?
I did. Yeah, I've liked the whole series, and I'm really glad you're liking it without seeing Rebels. But that definitely adds another layer of love for me, because it's these characters that you've been with for 4 seasons and now they're in live action.
Of course, yeah.
And I think the last episode was just perfect. It sucks that Ray Stevenson, who plays Balin Skull, is
I know.
gone.
I know.
Like died, but because he's given one of the best performances we've seen in Star Wars, just so like haunting and real. So rest in peace to him. But yeah, no, it's been fantastic. I'm loving it. And the last episode, the ending was just I'm like, I can't really say anything. I
Wait
wasn't
for the next episode.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't expecting it. Like I had zero. I think I was so drawn in that I forgot that certain people were going to be in it. Well, I didn't even know they were going to be in it. But yeah, I just thought it was fantastic. There's just this emotional connection that I have to Star Wars that I don't have with anything else. But yeah, I saw that. I saw Gran Turismo last week,
good?
dude. So I went in with so low expectations.
Yeah, it's Gran Turismo.
0. It's a PlayStation. 0 expectations. My viewing was kind of ruined because I left the fucking lights on.
Conspiracy.
For no fucking reason, bro. It was bullshit. Don't ever get. Like, I'm sure, like, fantastic. Like they have sensory sessions. Event just the towers.
Pick up your game,
dude. But it's like they have these sensory sessions once every Sunday for people that are like sensitive to light and.
Just go a bit closer when you talk to them.
Oh right. There were like they have it for people that are like sensitive to light and hearing and shit like that. And fair enough. Once every Sunday. This was on a Wednesday, so I'm like, the fuck, man. Like, anyways. But
what's different about it?
They keep the lights on.
Well, it's just like, what's that thing when like there's a video game and they give that warning, like if you're
Or epilepsy or whatever.
but it's like,
It's
think about it,
different,
like if you're someone with epilepsy and you want to go watch a movie, you know what I mean?
But it's so awkward.
keeping the lights on
There's this
help?
girl on the other side of the cinema and like she's there eating her popcorn and I'm like, I can't like, give like a death stare when she's eating too loud because she'll see me. And it's just so awkward when the lights are on. But anyways, the movie was
only Gran Turismo.
It was but dude, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was just I don't even know. I think because my expectations were so low, I was blown away.
No, I've heard it was good.
I actually gave it a 5. Now I know you guessed it, but it was that good. When it evokes some kind of reaction out of me, I didn't realize it. I didn't expect it to be so hard hitting, so deep and layered. And I'm like, it's Gran Turismo. How can they make this like? David Harbour carries. He's fucking amazing. Sweet. Just a fun story. You can switch off your brain, and it made the list. I'll tell you where. Every 5 makes my list. That's how I do it. Gran Turismo number 28. So it beat Ford versus Ferrari. Wow. So number 28. It's just I don't know. For me, fantastic. 0 expectations. 28. Blown away.
Not bad.
Fantastic. What else have I seen? And one more thing that I want to mention. One Piece got released on Netflix this week. The live adaptation. I'm gonna try not overhype it for you.
Did you start watching it?
Yeah, I'm like half. 2 episodes left. It's like brought me back to. I feel like I'm a child. What are you gonna say there?
No, I was just gonna say, you said Netflix and it reminded me. Have you seen they've got this new interactive rom com film on Netflix?
Ooh.
Yeah,
for all the lonely people.
No.
Dan.
So My girlfriend watched it last night, but what it is, it's a rom-com, and you like choose.
Your
It's
story?
like, do you want him to kiss him? Yes or no? Or it's like there's like 3 guys that you can kind of choose from. It's like, which one do you want to pick?
Were you in the room? Were you in the room?
No,
Okay, all right.
but
Fetty's
Sorry,
like, I
go
think
on.
that one's cute.
bro, it had the guy from Victorious. The like
No way!
The main, you know the
Yeah.
The
Long
guy,
hair.
yeah.
Yeah.
whatever his name is.
Yeah,
I was
right.
like, I would have picked him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's interesting.
but it's like how that's a smart idea. 'Cause
Yeah.
like what you do is you just write 3 like ways the script could go, and it's like
Well, that's what they do with Black Mirror, the
Bandersnatch.
Bandersnatch. You know, choose your own story. But One Piece, amazing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try not overhype, but Lockie said one of his favorite shows of all time now. He hasn't said anything to you guys because obviously he doesn't want to overhype it. I think it's fantastic, amazing.
cool.
I'm so happy. I watch it and I'm so happy. You know,
Yeah, that's great.
The action is incredible. The cinematography is incredible, and it makes you feel good. The soundtrack is one of the
That's
best
awesome.
soundtracks that I've seen. That I've heard. I really do recommend going to watch it. You know, if you're a fan of the anime or whatever. I used to watch it. I don't really remember anything. The one thing that I'll say is that like I came away from the first episode loving every character. And that rarely happens
Yeah,
because it
that's
usually
beautiful.
takes a season. Bro, it took 1 episode for you to fall in love with these characters.
That's great.
And I'm really happy. So definitely go watch that.
Sick, man.
And yeah, almost done. But I think that leaves us for today, boys. Anything else you want to add? Fetty, thank you for coming on again.
no, thank you.
Thanks, Fetty.
It's been
Good to see you,
a
man.
pleasure. Good
Exactly.
to see you too. Good
We'll
to
see you on Austin set.
Yeah, definitely. I'll see you before then.
We'll see you before then as well.
Definitely.
But yeah. Anyways, guys, what are we going to do, Dan?
Gonna tie a little bow in this episode.
If you want to catch us, it is the Pre-Prod Pod on TikTok and Instagram, the Pre-Production Meeting on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you. Peace out.